Yeah, what's happening? We about to bring that action. Gotta hold it down for my Seattle Kraken. Hey, we going beneath the waves. We going beneath the waves. Get it hype, step onto the ice. Ready for some action. Release the Kraken. Hey, we going beneath the waves. Going beneath the waves.
What is up, everyone? Welcome into the Beneath the Waves podcast, our weekly recap of all things Seattle hockey and beyond. I am Matt.
And I'm Derek.
And we are apparently operating shorthanded today. We'll see if our third wheel on our tricycle pops in during the broadcast here. Alex is maybe playing hooky from work today. We'll see. You're just going to have to deal with the two of us right now, but have no fear. We will keep this ship on course. And we are going to start off with episode 66 here of the BTW pod, and we are back. No, these are the notes from last time.
I saw that earlier today.
We are on episode 66 of the BTW pod. On today's episode, we're going to catch up on a little bit of Kraken and Torrent news, as well as kick off our second annual performance reviews. Let's open up first with some Torrent talk, as we are 48 hours away from the PWHL expansion process getting underway, and we will just have to wait and see who Seattle decides to take as their first three protected players. We've talked about it before. It's a very long and convoluted process, all of this. There's I can't remember the name of their little mascot that they have on YouTube, but there's an explainer video on the PWHL YouTube if you want to break it down. Go check out Kyle Cushman. He's awesome on Twitter. He has lots of little breakdowns. But what you need to know for phase number one is the teams have to have their 10-player negotiation list submitted a few days ago, and the negotiation period will open on June 1st at noon Eastern, so bright and early for you Seattle natives. Contracts cannot be signed until noon on the 2nd, and the teams have until 5 Eastern on the 3rd to submit their signings. So we got like a day and a half-ish window of waiting and biting our nails and seeing what happens. One thing I brought up to you the other day that I keep forgetting about this, because I keep thinking of it in terms of last year's round of expansion of we just need to protect people on our own team. But part of this is you can scoop up a free agent on another team to sign them on for the next season and have them as part of your squad. So it might not even be 3 Torrent players that are protected on the Torrent. And if you look around the league, since this is the end of season 3, there's a lot of expiring contracts about to come up on the board. So it could be pretty wild.
Yeah, that definitely makes things a lot more dynamic. I like it for the team, gives them more flexibility. And then also, like you said, yeah, if you look at all of the people who are protected or like who are under contract until like 2 years from now, it's like nobody, but under contract until like even next year, there's so many people that are not. It's just insane. It's like the entire league is up for grabs.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a whole lot of a different brand of chaos compared to last year of teams being gutted and shuffled. I don't think it'll be to the same degree as last year. There's still going to be, of course, upset people, but what can you do about that? We just gotta hope we get some good ones and can maybe convince the people to come over to us.
Yeah, that's actually what I was saying when we were you, Heather, and I were talking about the expansion process, the expansion process, and just how convoluted it is. And I honestly think that's like a good reason why they probably made it so convoluted, is so people aren't upset about like the entire league getting gutted. If like no one can understand what's even going on, then they're not going to be upset about like what's happening. So,
And then by the time we record our next episode, or sometime during, we are going to have phase 2 underway, which runs from the 5th to the 8th. And this is the expansion team foundational signing period. Very fancy name. This phase will have the expansion teams acquiring 5 players from their 20-player exclusive negotiation target list. This is essentially the big money phase, as the expansion teams will receive one binding expansion foundational offer, allowing them to pursue a cornerstone type of player through a premium multi-year contract. These can range anywhere from 1 to 4 years and it'll be at 100K or more if that's what their existing contract was. So this phase will end. It starts, like I said, on June 5th and is going to end on the 8th at 5 o'clock Eastern. So we'll have two bits of expansion updates to come next week.
Speaking of 100,000, is that the cap for those, or is it at 100,000 or more?
Um, it says, I looked up the wording of it. The EFO provides the following terms. Player's salary for next season will be no less than $100,000, or the
Wow,
player's
nice.
salary, or the player's current salary, whichever is greater. Player determines the length of contract between 1 to 4. Players who sign a multi-year deal will receive upfront 20K payments, which will be charged to the signing team's salary cap in $5,000 increments over the
Oh,
next
I
four
love that.
seasons. Salaries in additional years will increase by a minimum of 3% each year. Contract is guaranteed regardless of contract length. And if a player elects a multi-year deal, the player can choose to spread the total value of the contract evenly over the guaranteed years of the deal.
Okay, wow. Thanks for that. But yeah, I really love that idea of like that cornerstone player getting the foundational offer. I think that's really cool. Also, was it since our last episode where the like you can look up every salary now in the PWHL, or did that already
Yep,
exist?
that was disclosed in the last week here.
Yeah, so you can do that now if you're interested as well. You can look at every single salary in the PWHL.
So my guess is going to be if you have a player who is currently making over $100,000. I can't remember how many there were, but there weren't very many.
Mm-mm.
That's probably the cornerstone of your team, and you're not going to give them up anyway. So you're not going to see Marie-Philippe Poulin decide to go play in Vegas and give up her Montreal spot and stuff like that. So
Right. It's probably more for like, yeah, like fringe. There are like star players that are not being paid that well already, which is really
yeah,
cool. It's nice that there's like an incentive. They're enticing them to come. That's really cool.
like you look at the Torrent roster and you have someone like Julia Gosling, who's kind of had a pretty big season with the Torrent amongst Torrent players at least, and she went to the Olympics and all that. And she's from Ontario, so maybe she's incentivized to, with the pool that we have, if we leave her open, Hamilton might
Hot
go
dog
looking for
team.
a local person. The hot dog team, yeah.
Ugh, can't
So
stand
we'll
it.
we'll just have to wait and see. We'll break it all down next week and see if we're in tiers or things like that. I'm still sticking with Knight, Bilka, and Murphy as my picks. I think Murphy could be swapped out for Alex Carpenter, but we'll see. If
Who?
like Alex
Yeah.
Carpenter isn't protected, then she's
Yeah.
making
Who?
100K somewhere.
It literally could be. It could be like it could be the possibility that it's like Knight, Bilka, and then the third one they're like potentially going to sign someone, right? That's possible with the free
Yeah,
agency
they
thing.
could
Yeah.
scoop
So
up a third person.
that could be the thing. They could be deciding between like free agency, Alex Carpenter, or Murphy. So like, who knows?
We're gonna get just Jesse Eldridge back from Boston, and it's gonna be like a Daniel Sprong situation of trading
Oh
someone away and
God.
immediately getting them back. Except Jesse Eldridge actually does something. So that kind of does it. Like I said, for the torrent news, we'll break it down more next week and see the damage that was done. Derek, we did have one kind of piece in the Kraken rumor mill this week. That's kind of all the Kraken news that we have. What was that?
That we did. That's according to Nick Kyprios. Kyprios.
Kyprios?
Kyprios. There you go. Kaapo Kakko. So wait, Kyprios Kaapo Kakko. No, that's not all one. But okay, anyway, Kaapo Kakko could be a piece that the Kraken are interested in moving as part of a trade. He's basically been linked to trade rumors. Um, yeah, not ideal. As we'll get into the analysis of each of the forwards today, but I don't know. At least to me, Kaapo Kakko seems like one of the guys that we'd want to keep around here, right? I don't really think we're that sour on him. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if we didn't want him, we wouldn't have done the whole arbitration and come up with, I think it's on like is it a 4-year deal or 3-year deal? I think it's a couple years. It's
Um,
multi-year at least. But yeah, if we didn't want him, I don't think we would have pursued him in the way that we did. And we kind of had an unfortunate season from him because he broke his hand in the last preseason game, and then he had, I think it was a lower body something, uh,
right.
like a third of the way through. So if we can get a healthy season, that'd be pretty dope. But
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see. But again, there's like rumors going around that Toronto is willing to shop out that first overall pick, and I'm like, okay, we'll see about that. Give them our seventh, Shane, Kaapo, and Vince Dunn, and one Firebird, and we'll
Wasn't
take
there,
that number one.
not to get off topic here, but wasn't there that like video of like the Toronto, like basically the lair, but for
Yeah,
Toronto,
yeah,
like
yeah.
their
Yeah, I
merch?
sent you a picture that it was like I
Was
guess
that
we already know
fake?
what they're picking, and it was just someone took a picture like through the window at
Is
some
that
sort of
fake or is
event that
that real?
I think it was at some sort of like concert or event that was at
Ah,
Scotiabank,
okay.
and
Oh
someone like
well.
took it going up the escalator. So
Yeah,
they're
so
already
maybe
printing
it's already a lock.
72s. I'm down for gutting this team, whatever it takes to be better. And if moving Kaapo Kakko gets us something good in return, maybe that's one of those pieces we talked about last week that help us bump up the trade board a little bit. Um, I'm all for it. We'll see. We'll see. In this week's episode, for the main segment, we are going to be conducting our annual performance review for the Seattle Kraken roster based on how well they did in the 2025-26 season. Today, we are going to be focusing strictly on the forwards. We'll do the goalies and defenders next week. So if you were hoping that we rip some defenders apart, you just got to wait a week, but I'm sure you'll get your fill on the forwards here. I'm going to be bringing up a list of players to you and some quick stats, and then we can just have a chat, how we feel about those guys, any observations we had, hopes we have for next season.
Hell yeah.
We can base it on vibes. That's probably me. We can base it on analytics. That's probably you with your spreadsheets. Whatever floats our collective BTW boat, we are just going to break these guys down. Just for clarity on the list, I am giving these names in alphabetical order, so it's not like we're ranking them or anything like that. And for players who join the team mid-season, the numbers used only reflect their Kraken time. So just keep that in mind for a little bit later. Before we get into the main rosters, I want to do a couple quick hits on players we would maybe consider as part-timers, the call-ups, the guys that are injury fill-ins. So is there anything that jumps out to you about the following players? We have Oscar Fisker Molgaard, Yanni Newman, Jacob Melanson, and Ben Myers.
Okay, I'll start here. I'll say Ben Myers, absolutely not. Like he's just very meh guy to me. And he's it's not like he's young and has potential. I mean, he's definitely been solid on that fourth line at times this year, but he's not a guy where I'm like, okay, we gotta keep him incorporated into the lineup going forward. So pretty meh on him. Not a lot of words needed. For Melanson, I'll say the thing that jumps out is like obviously how physical he was. That was sort of the narrative or like a storyline in itself this year. Was the Melanson wrecking ball that honestly we could have included last weekend. Yeah, so, but no, Melanson absolute wrecking ball, throwing like 4 to 10 hits per game, just absolute crazy person. So that guy, I want to see more of him going forward. For OFM. I'm going to appeal to some stat cards that we now have access to because of our Patreon subscription over at JFresh Hockey, some BTW investments. Um, Oscar Fisker Molgaard, he is not really projecting to be as good of a player as like Yanni Newman could be. Yanni Newman, though, has like the makings of like a potential star. Um, he just needs to take like a little step in his development, and I think he'll be just slinging the puck at the NHL level. Yeah, so there are like basically NHL ranks here for the prospects on these stat cards. For OFM, his like chance of becoming an everyday NHLer, according to this data, is 12%, and that's 170th ranked among prospects. And for Yanni Newman, his odds of becoming an everyday NHLer are 66%. So pretty big disparity there, and he's ranked 50th among NHLers. Among NHL prospects, he's actually ranked 15th among all NHL prospects for becoming their chances of becoming a star in the NHL, which is
A
top 20.
star,
Yeah, top
not just a
20%
player,
in the
but a
league.
star.
He's 15th among prospects in odds of becoming a star, which the definition here, top 20% of the league. So
Okay.
pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, OFM, I think next season we'll just see him being the bubble guy. Again, he played in 13 games and had 2 assists this season, but at the AHL level, he was lights out crazy. Like tearing things up in the playoffs, doing really good in the regular season. So I think he just continues on with being that bubble guy that gets called up when we need him. Jacob Melanson, love the dude. RFA this offseason, so I'm hoping we throw a million and change his way to keep him around as kind of that fourth line
That'd be
enforcer.
perfect.
I hope he gets way more playing time. He played in 36 games with 2 goals and 3 assists. He
Do
had
we have the hit
30,
number?
he had 32 penalty minutes. I'm just on ESPN, so I don't know
Okay,
what they
okay, hold on.
track.
I gotta get this hit number. So Melanson's hits 188. Tolvanen, who was like our biggest hit guy,
Mhm.
187. So he had one more hit than Tolvanen, but 36 games compared to 78 games.
So half the games, an equal amount of
Half
hits.
the games, one more hit.
Good
Like,
Lord.
holy shit.
What was the top hit guy in the NHL this season?
NHL, I'll do like their average and then multiply by 36. 87. 413 is the number one. 82 times 36. 181. The number one hits guy in the league is Yakov Trenin, but he had 413 hits, most in the league among forwards. And oh, wait, were you talking about all positions or
I
just
don't care.
forwards? Okay. Oh, he's actually for all positions too. So yeah, he would have only had 181 in that span of games based on his average. So Melanson is, mark my
So, oh
words,
yeah,
Melanson plays the whole
if we would have
year.
doubled Melanson's up, he would have had like 370-ish.
187 divided by 36 times 82. He would have had 425 on the season, and Trennan had 413. So he'd wipe the floor. So give
Hell
him
yeah.
82 games next year. He'll be the hit leader in the NHL.
Let's do it. Ben Myers, he's just again like serviceable spare tire that we could put in if the wheels fell off. I know he had a couple moments where I excitedly tweeted Big Ben. He had some goals. He had 7 goals, 8 assists in 52 games. And then Yanni Newman, I think that's the one that pains all Kraken fans and points fingers at Jason Botterill and Lane Lambert saying, "Why are you stunting the development of the kids? Have Yanni Newman playing. He played 28 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, and they're like, get out of here, go back down there." And then he gets like a hat trick in his first game back with Coachella or something like that. So we've talked about it before, he's like elite level AHL, and you said like on the verge of being a star. So hopefully we can, I don't know, get him a chance.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
one of these
he's
auditors will be like, "Hey, look at this thing that I sub to on Patreon that says."
yeah, he's red hot in the AHL, which is a really good sign.
Mm.
And contrary to what is said on the BTW pod a lot, I feel like it's not necessarily the best thing for development to throw people to the wolves. And I think NHL coaches and GMs across the entire league agree with that. Because this is a very common phenomenon of like your newer guys get like no minutes. And it takes trust, it takes time, it takes that development. You play your worst guys against worse competition and not for not that many minutes. It's just kind of how it works. But yeah, hopefully Yanni Newman absolutely pops off next year.
We did have some other part-timers that I didn't bother throwing in. Like we had John Hayden, who only played 3 games, but he was really needed in Coachella. Ty Cartier, we shipped off halfway through. Mason Marsh, remember that guy? We shipped him out after
Oh
29
man.
games, and then he scored a hat trick in his very first game with Columbus. Good times. But yeah, those are our kind of part-timers that we listed here. I think I looked at like less than half a season I considered a part-timer. So let's get into the full-timers now, the big show, the big guys, starting with Mr. Iron Man for this season. Matty Beniers, 82 games played, 20 goals, 30 assists, so 50 points in total. How did you feel about Matty this season?
Okay, well, I feel like this theme is going to come up a lot tonight, especially with our better players, which I consider Matty Beniers to be. But I just want to remind everyone going into this that only 4 teams in the entire NHL had less goals scored than the Kraken this year. The Flames, the Blackhawks, the Canucks, and the Kings. League average is 252 goals, which is about 3 per game. The Kraken averaged about 2.75 per game. They only had 226, which is a pretty pathetic number. So all that to say, we are analyzing forwards today, and this forward group just ain't cutting it, okay? So we can't be super hesitant, as Matt said earlier, we can't be super hesitant about like taking a red pen to this entire, forward group, entire roster. It is also worth noting because with these better players like Beniers, McCann, Eberle, etc., they're going to look at least slightly worse than they would on like a good team. So it's kind of like a grain of salt moment where it's like, okay, their numbers might not be great this year, but they can still be good players. All that to say, Beniers kind of had a step forward, I think, this year. 2 years ago, he had that slump, the awful slump. Last year it was a little bit better, and then this year it was a little bit better than that. And so that's really good to see, especially now that we have the caveat of, a pretty bad offensive roster. Beniers taking a step forward actually means a lot more there. Also notable, he has 80th percentile defense numbers. So dude's absolutely a lockdown back there. His overall like wins above replacement percentile is 50. So literally like league average. Not great overall. But like I said, he's one of our best forwards. He's like our first line center. And the team around him just isn't that great. So I expect him to take another step forward next year offensively, which is really exciting to me because he's already so good defensively. But yeah, how do you feel about Matty?
Yeah, I'm like I said, I kind of thought not going to be as analytical as you, but if I'm looking at his history of stats here. This is his second season back-to-back Ironman. So he did not miss a game the last two seasons, and the season before, that's when he had his Pospisil, I believe, concussion that
That's
knocked him
true.
out for like 15 games, and we were worried he was going to be really gun shy coming back from that. For the last three seasons, he has either matched or exceeded his goal scoring. So he had 15 and then 20. So he had 20 this season, 20 last season, 15 in his injury season. And his points have always, again, taking out that outlier of the Calder season, his points have always gone up to. He had 37 2 seasons ago, 43 last season, 50 this season. So our
Exactly.
plot points on our graph are trending up. I know people would like to see the angle of incline being way more vertical than a gradual slope, but I'm going to consider that still a W. He stayed healthy. He scored some points. He averaged like
Doesn't take
just shy of
penalties.
20 minutes. What the
Whoop.
cat just caused some sort of destruction. Give me a sec.
Uh-oh.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
He's just playing on boxes.
So he's just moving boxes around. That's what got you going.
Well, with like Lacey's stuff that she's on now, we have like boxes and boxes that are like,
Oh,
and we probably have like a dozen of them. So every time she goes through supplies, we just huck a box in the hallway. The littlest cat was playing in the boxes
dude,
and took a bit of a tumble.
cats and boxes, man. They just love those things.
Yeah. Can't remember where I was, but yeah, overall, I'm feeling
Oh, you
pretty
said
solid
you
about
said
Matty
his
B.
time on ice, I think, was like near 20 minutes a game or something.
His time on ice, just shy of 20 minutes a game. He was 48% on the faceoff dot, which, how does that compare?
Yeah,
I mean, we want to be a passing grade. That's not
we
great.
want to we want to be a little over 50, dog.
I will say it's one of my favorite highlights of this season. His shootout goal that he had. I can't remember who it was against, but he actually had two beauty shootout and dangly goals that looked pretty sweet. So, uh,
Absolutely a shootout specialist, as is somebody else that we will get into a little bit later. There's a couple of
mm,
shootout specialists on this team. Matty Beniers is one of them.
all right, well, we'll get to that. So, moving along the attendance roster here, we have the young gun on the team. We wondered if he would get playing time. We wondered if he'd be back and forth between the WHL and the big league. We wondered if he would burn his ELC, and he sure as hell did. Berkly Catton, who played in 66 games this season, 7 goals, 10 assists, so 17 points overall. Um, as a fellow Saskatchewanian, I am big hyped to see Berkly Catton in the big show. He had some awesome goals that happened. I remember him getting his first goal, and you had like Jared McCann proud father moment like he always does when these young guys score their first goals in the league. And I think didn't he have a multi-goal game at one point?
I
I
think,
might be
yeah,
making that up.
think he did. Think he had a 2-goal game.
But yeah, he was awesome. I look forward to seeing what he's able to do because we have such a logjam of centers. We shifted him off to the wing, and he played with a combination of different people. So I think there's got to be some sort of big upside on this guy, at least in the sense that we actually played one of our draft picks, which was
Yeah,
really nice to see.
100%. I don't think on a team where you have an offense that's fully filled out and fully competent, for lack of a better word, I don't think that you're going to see him get this many games as he did this year. But really cool for, well, I think he's 19, right?
Yeah, because
A
he wasn't
19-year
AHL
old.
eligible, so
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like O'Brien, Jake O'Brien, our prospect, will be doing that. The first of any of our prospects to be doing that next year. Yeah, that would have been cool for him this year. That would have been a better spot, assuming that we had enough forwards to fill out like an actual team of forwards. But no, 19 years old, getting 66 NHL games and already getting like the taste of your first NHL points is really cool. As you said, already having a 2-goal game at 19 is crazy. He played about 13 minutes per game. His contract expires in the 2028 offseason. So, I mean, next year we're obviously going to be looking for a pretty substantial step up because, yeah, like obviously when you're 21, 22, 23, these numbers aren't going to cut it. When you're 19, and the Kraken's offense is just abysmal, then it's fine. We don't like no one cares really. But
yeah.
going forward, if we are going to try to be in contention, looking for steps forward for sure with Berkly Catton.
Yeah, I am very excited to see what happens with him next year. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has a new customer offer. When the ice gets coldest, the best players in the world show you exactly who they are. Playoff warriors turn it up round by round, and DraftKings turns it up with them from the first round all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Bet player props, bet live from the opening faceoff to the final horn. Every moment matters. New DraftKings customers bet just $5 and you'll get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN so you're ready for the moment. That's code THPN. Turn $5 into $100 in bonus bets instantly. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
Another hometown product for myself, the top point scorer, shocking all of us in this season, the captain, Jordan Eberle. Head to btwsca.com/shop to get your new Jordan Eberle design. We've had a couple shirts go out, so excited for that. Make sure you go check that out and get a sweater or a t-shirt, tank top, whatever you like. But Jordan Eberle, the captain, played in 80 games this season, 26 goals, 29 assists for 55 total points. I think those 2 misses were just illness related. I don't think he was actually injured, so that was a good sign, especially with the season that he had when he shattered his pelvis into smithereens. So
Yeah, that's
I
kind
think,
of a big deal. Yeah.
yeah, all things considered, I think this is a pretty top shelf season for
Yeah.
Mr. Eberle.
Not shattering your pelvis is a great year. He's 75th percentile in wins above replacement, according to Jay Fresh. As you said, our top points guy and our great friend, Zane Begg of Davy Jones Locker Room and Locked on Kraken. Got a bone to pick with you, man. Keep saying Jordan Eberle's not a top 100 scorer in the league, and I hate to break it to you, but he's actually 67th in the league in terms of scoring goals. Okay, if you're talking overall points, he's not in the top 100, so you're correct there. But his 26 goals this season, not the most on the Kraken in terms of the goals, right? That's another guy we'll get into later, but Makes him 67th in the entire NHL in scoring. And there's a lot of forwards in the NHL. There's like over 550 or something. There's a lot of them. So Jordan Eberle's dope. I mean, he's 35, really getting up there, okay? But his numbers all over the place look amazing. 93rd percentile in even strength offense, 70th percentile in even strength defense. Dude is just like him, okay? On a contending team, he'd easily have a spot in the top six. So I don't want to hear any of this narrative of like we don't have any top six players or whatever. No, Jordan Eberle is legit. Okay, he's very, very, very legit. We do not have a lot of legit forwards on the Kraken, but Jordan Eberle is extremely legit.
I'm gonna guess that this next guy is the shootout star that you teased before, maybe.
He's also one of them, but not the dude who I'm talking about.
Not
But
the one,
actually,
not the one.
it's almost the exact same analysis. So it's actually kind of funny that you say that.
All right, it's our newly acquired fourth liner that we got in free agency last year. No, it wasn't even free agency. We traded for him. Freddy Gaudreau, 68 games played, 7 goals, 17 assists for 24 points. I do remember like what made me think that he was the guy you're talking about with shootouts, as I remember on KHN they had something he was like top 5 shootout percentage in the entire league, something like that. And he did have some nice shootout goals, and then he did get shut down quite a few times. But he seems like, again, one of those perfectly serviceable fourth line center guys down there, just tanking things on the like being a tank, not tanking things on the penalty kill and stuff like that. So I don't know. I dug having Freddie around. He seems like a great guy, and he had quite a few moments on the ice this season.
Very fun player. I'd say Frederick Gaudreau is probably the most fun, like bad player on the Kraken. He's super fun to watch. He's had a lot of good moments this year, and it was genuinely really exciting to see him. And he's also a guy where it always seems like he is putting in like max effort, which is cool. Same amount of goals as Catton. And, this guy's 32 and Catton's 19. So, I mean, that kind of tells you a lot in terms of production, scoring production. His offense metrics are worst percentile, first being the worst. So not great at all offensively. Shootout specialist for sure, because there's nothing he can really do offensively out there during actual games. Defensively, super sound, but the people that he's playing against are also not that good. So he is exactly like a guy that you can put out there. I think you said tank stuff, and like
Yeah.
absolutely, he's a sponge. Like he's a guy you could throw out there and it'd be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna mitigate like anyone on their fourth line who can potentially score. Freddie G is like a good guy to mitigate that, and then maybe he'll have like a rush chance because he is good at actually at finishing.
Hmm.
He has had really nice goals. It's just all the other stuff that leads up to good offense, like positioning, pass, like all that other stuff. That's where he's kind of like uh, worst in the league.
And looking at him, he
Paying him 2 mil, so
yeah, 2.1, two
can't
more
ask for a
seasons.
lot. Yeah.
So we'll see how that pans out. Next up, we have a guy who we talked about at the top of the show, and he was a little cursed this season with some injuries. Kaapo Kakko played in 65 games, 13 goals, 27 assists for 40 points. We would have loved to see a lot more out of him. However, he did have that broken wrist from that AHL schmuck on the Oilers that slashed him on the hands in the last preseason game. He had another injury come a little while later, so not his best season. But, compared to last season, actually, he was about right around the same. He had 14 goals and 30 assists last season. He had 44 points. He was only 4 points off of last season, that being between the Rangers and the Kraken. So hopefully he can turn into a stud and have a nice, full, healthy season next season. We talked about him before. Don't know how many grains of salt to take with the rumor that he might be on the move, but maybe someone sees something in him. We'll see. But I
He
liked
can't be.
I liked Capo this season.
Yeah, he can't be on the move, man. He's 24. We're Yeah, he expires in the 2028 offseason, so we have 2 more seasons with him. He makes 4.5 million a year. He's 24 years old. He's ripe for like absolutely taking off. Um, really good offensively, and we have zero room to get rid of anyone who is good at offense right now. Are you kidding me? Yeah, the only thing plaguing him this year is missing out on those 17 games, and defensively, not very good. So if he needs to round that out a bit. Kaapo's dope stat though, 90th percentile in first assist, like primary assists, over the last 3 years weighted. So really, really cool stat. Dope offensive guy.
So he's a good setup guy.
Oh yeah,
Those aren't empty calorie assists, as some
not
people
empty,
would say.
not empty calorie second assist.
Next guy, another guy who had kind of a cursed season as well. Jared McCann played in only 52 games this season. He had a nice balance, 20 goals, 20 assists for 40 points. He like has consistently been our top guy, so it really hurt that he was hurt. Hopefully, next season proves to be something big for him. I think next season is his last season on contract.
Yeah, he expires next offseason,
Yeah,
making
so
5 mil.
let's make this a good year for the Kraken by driving up your value as a goal scorer and point producer. And then, if we're not doing great, trade deadline, someone will maybe pay big for him. But he's been a real cornerstone of this team.
Oh yeah.
And I think it would be a definite blow if we were to see him head out. He turns 30 this year. But yeah, not the all-star season we've seen out of him in the past.
Yeah, I don't know if it needs to be even said, but there's no one on the Kraken that is like close to Jared McCann in terms of how good they are. And everyone always says the Kraken have no stars. We absolutely do. We at least have 1 star in Jared McCann, and I will fight to the death on that. Like, there's no way you're looking at Jared McCann and saying that he's not a star player. If you don't believe that, you want to go to the numbers. Jared McCann has nearly 4.5 expected goals for per 60 minutes of play, like while he's on the ice. That's an insanely high number. The Kraken only have 4 players over three goals for per 60 minutes. It's 41st in the entire league, and it's right behind Sam Reinhart, and it's also ahead of absolute behemoth offensive superstars like Matt Boldy and Mitch Marner. So you're not going to tell me that Jared McCann, who is he's scored 40 goals in a season before, okay? You're not going to tell me a 40 goal scorer who only got to play 50 games, has been injured like last year and this year, and still almost a point per game. You're not going to tell me that guy's not a star, bro. Like, you just can't. And he's been making 5 mil this whole time. There's a rude awakening. As you said, increasing his value, there's a rude ass awakening coming next offseason, especially with the cap going up. This is going to be a nightmare. Okay. But the Kraken have to pay him. Okay. He is the Kraken star, and he has to remain the Kraken star. He's only going to be 30, bro. We're paying Chandler Stephenson until he's 37. No, we're paying McCann until he's at least 40.
um, do you think like we've often referred to him as like a name in the rafters guy? Like he is what I would call a foundational
Yes.
cornerstone player, whatever it was that the PWHL is shelling out contracts for in phase
Oh,
two.
yeah.
Um, he's like a star to us. Do you think him lacking like grander star status is just like lack of visibility? He's not like a person that you see out there making sound bites and news clips like you have of some of these other guys who are big leagues, like big league players. I mean, it'd probably help if the Kraken were good and it would give anyone a reason to pay attention to us. But I think like the optics, the media focus isn't really on the Kraken, so he doesn't have a chance to
Exactly. That's definitely
shine.
one of the factors. You nailed one of the factors, which is that it's Seattle. Good shit. It's Seattle, the national media, in the fan base at large. The National Hockey League fan base at large. If you go on like any NHL post, everyone just shits on the Kraken, like that in all the time. And I think our own fan base sort of like osmosis is this sometimes, and they start like also agreeing that like there's nothing redeemable about the Kraken, and it's like, okay, well, hold up. even as like a rational person, you shouldn't think that. But as a fan, you definitely shouldn't be thinking that because it's like, bro, these are your guys, bro. That's kind of a beef I have. But another thing is, as I said, the grain of salt thing at the beginning of this, where not only them being bad and not getting attention, but them being bad and not helping his play. So if it's a really good team, right? Not only are you getting the attention, you're winning all these games, and when you win games, the media they have to pick a couple people to like start obsessing over when a team starts
Mhm.
being really successful. And then also you also have all of the contributors making Jared McCann probably score like 40 goals a year if he's on like a really, really, really good team. The fact that he is like, I'm looking at it right now, 90th percentile in wins above replacement, according to JFresh, advanced stats nerd guy, 84th percentile in even strength offense, 95th percentile in primary assists. You know how I said Kaapo Kakko was 90th? This dude's 95th, finishing 80th percentile. Dude, he's just unreal. He's an unreal player. And it's just bullshit. Yeah, but yeah.
I think if he were to move off elsewhere, either in a trade or free agency next
Hell
season,
no.
that would be a void we would definitely feel. And in like retrospect, be like, man, it's like on The Office, and like, I wish you knew you were in the good times before like the good times were over or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Um, Someone that was here for a good time, not necessarily a long time, is the guy whose name I often confuse with the previous guy's name, Bobby McMann, who we picked up on trade deadline day from the Toronto Maple Leafs. He played 18 games with the Kraken, in which he had 10 goals and 4 assists for 14 points. Immediate impact player on this squad. Unfortunately, the squad did not match that vibe and performance that he brought in. And right now, it's just like a coin toss up in the. Oh, I don't know how much of a coin toss it is, but it's up in the air right now whether or not he will be back. I did on, Twitter, my tinfoil hatting, saying, "Oh, he just posted a picture saying about how great Seattle is. He's going to be around." And there's that Instagram follow bot
Yep.
account. It's like, "Oh, he just got followed by Maddie and so and so and so and so.
Brandon Montour.
He's
Yeah.
staying for sure. He's staying for sure." So
I think
we'll
that's
see.
good evidence.
We got
I
like a
think
month
it
until
was like
the hammer comes down, but
it was like half the team followed him in the span of like 3 days. There's no
yeah.
way that's a coincidence,
Yeah, so we'll see. But like I said, definite impact player that came in. We loved having him on. He is a UFA at the end of the season here. He turns 30 in I think like a week or two right away. So happy birthday, Mr. McMahon. Here's a dump truck full of money.
Yeah, what would you say is like your absolute favorite thing about McMann on the ice?
All the goals that he
Yeah,
scored immediately.
absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. It's definitely got to be the finishing. He's just so good at goal scoring, and as we've said literally all year, like the Kraken have been so bad for goal scoring. Something I really like is that he was very underappreciated in Toronto. He was played like 14, 15 minutes a game or something. And then when he came over here, he was averaging like 19, like he had like 19, 20-minute games. His average that I found online was 18 minutes time on ice. And yeah, 86th percentile in goals. His 29 goals this season. Uh, so not just the 10 on the Kraken, but the 29 this season, um, make him 48th in the entire NHL. Jordan Eberle was 67th. Bobby McMann, 48th in the entire NHL. So don't believe these people. There's so many people that are going to be telling you the Kraken have zero redeemable offensive players or no scorers, or like they paint this picture every single day that there's just this huge void that no one can score. Bobby McMann, top 50 out of like I said, 570 forwards or whatever the hell. And Jordan Eberle, 67. Like goal scoring matters, and these guys can score goals. Bobby McMann is also very defensively sound, which is underappreciated. There's guys like Daniel Sprong, as you mentioned earlier, where they are, they're really shifty and they get goals, but they also can play zero defense. Bobby McMann is not like that. He's defensively sound. A lot of penalties, I guess. That might be like the only downside, I guess. But yeah, super stoked for him. I think he's part of like our core going forward for sure. Got to sign him. Got to sign him. Got to sign him.
Gotta. Yeah, his first game that he played here after all his visa issue BS that held him up.
Oh, I
Uh,
forgot
it was
about that.
it was worth the wait because in his first game he had 2 goals and an assist.
Yep.
The following game he had a goal and an assist, and then the game after that he had a goal. So he had 6 points in his first 3 games with us, and everyone's like, "Yep, hype's real. Let's go."
You remember our pod right before that happened, where I was saying like that I was hyped on McMann because of his numbers at Toronto, and then I think Alex, who's absent today, was saying that he's not sure if it's gonna carry over. I was just like on top of the world that first week.
You and I both very much on the resign Bobby train. We'll cross our fingers on July 1st and see what happens. Uh, a guy that both of us don't think should come back on July 1st
He gone.
is Jaden Schwartz, who played in 50 games this season, 11 goals, 15 assists. It was a not fantastic season injury wise for him, in that he, towards the end of the season, got that boot to the face, which, in all honesty, could have been way worse.
Oh yeah.
It could have been like a clip that's shown for a long time of the dangers of things, but luckily it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But yeah, he only played in 50 games. He's had kind of a rocky, injury riddled career with the Kraken. He's last season he had 81 games, but all seasons before that, 62, 71, 37 in the first season. So the wheels seem pretty rickety on the Jaden Schwartz wagon as it's rumbling out of the Emerald City.
Absolutely. There's like one condition I'd take Schwartz back if he like took a massive pay cut and we could stick him as like a, bottom six guy, just deep down there, third or maybe even fourth, because he does have goal scoring potential. It's just that he is aging and not so gracefully. So I don't necessarily want to have that cap burden. And then also, I don't think the rest of his game really justifies a spot out there for a lot of the time. I think he's good to, if he's in the right place, right time, score a goal, but I don't know if the rest of his game's really up to snuff. Now he's definitely miles and miles better than a guy like Freddy Gaudreau or even like I think he's better than like Winterton and like there are guys that he's better. So if he is willing to take like a pay cut, but I don't know if he is like he's probably trying to
I
get
don't
paid
know.
more, right? That's usually what happens.
He'd probably take a pay cut to go to a good team.
Yeah, exactly. I saw like a Nashville Predators podcast that was talking about Jaden Schwartz and how and they were contemplating getting him next year or not.
Well, he's worn yellow before, so maybe he likes the way it looks on him. He does have like really good moments with when he's on a line with Matty Beniers. Like they've had really good synergy between them. And then, you throw Kaapo Kakko in
Oh
there
yeah.
to fill out that line. They've been a really good cluster. But yeah, I've already mentally prepared and braced myself for
Yeah,
when
it
the
seems like he's
trade set
gone.
the free agent frenzy alert comes up saying that he's been signed to, I don't know, Edmonton for 4 years
Oh
at
man.
$2 million or
Oh
something like
man.
that, some low amount.
I just popped into my head. Nightmare free agency scenario. We overpay for Schwartz and don't get McMann, man. That would just break my heart this offseason, I'm
I
just gonna say.
I would hope that the front office, for as much shit as we give them, would see the taking a guy 5 years younger and with almost as many points in his games with the Kraken, which is like 2.5 times less
Oh
games.
man.
Uh,
Oh,
just
it better
yeah,
not happen.
I don't know. Fan base will burn the place to the ground if that happens.
Well,
So
I'm glad we're on that topic because it's perfect for the next play we're going to talk about.
yeah, that is always the most contentious guy on the roster, Mr. Chandler Stephenson. 80 games played, 16 goals, 33 assists for 49 points. So I believe that put him at like third on the team in terms of total points.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have at times been defenders, maybe like the only sole defenders of him, but we've also been critical
Oh
of
yeah.
him too. So where do you fall on Chandler Stephenson at the end of this season?
So this is the guy I was talking about being a potential shootout specialist only. His finishing is amazing. He's extremely good at finishing. I mean, like halfway through the season, I remember looking on Money Puck and his goals above expected, and it said he was like his shooting talent was like 25% above like the average player. Like he was absolutely just rifling this year in terms of goals. Um, in primary assists, he's 63rd percentile, so very great at that. Here's the problem, okay? And I'm just going to be super blunt with this. Here's what I'm looking at. Even strength offense, first percentile. Even strength defense, second percentile, okay? So 98, 99% of the league better than him at this stuff. He's either like the biggest statistical anomaly or he's bad. And okay, I'll say a nice thing about Chandler Stephenson. The guys that he plays against are always like the first and second line guys. So and he plays like 20 minutes a night. So he is always playing like against the very best competition. Okay. And there's something to be said for that because not everyone could do that. I don't think he can do it. Really.
Hmm.
I don't even, but
But
it's,
with what we have, he's probably like the best option to put there.
yeah, honestly, he comes out of it like kind of unscathed with his production on how bad the production was. His production doesn't even seem that bad, and it's against the best competition. So that is one nice thing I'll say about him. But man, even strength expected numbers just atrocious. His power play numbers though are like about league average. So
Hmm.
just stick him on the PP time. I mean, the other thing we're stuck with this guy until 2031.
Yeah.
2031 at like and that's what I'm saying. The desperation was I think why we handed the 7 year to Stevenson. We might get desperate if we don't get McMann and then we overpay Schwartz. And it's like this
Ugh.
desperate that's the only and then
But
I'd
the
say there's a
difference,
trend of desperation.
but I think the difference there is dumped 7 years on Stevenson when he was 30 years old,
True. True.
not
So we dumped
when he
3
was
years on Schwartz when he's 34 or 4 years
thir
on him when he's 33. Is that
35
what
or
we do?
whatever he is.
I thought he's 33.
No, I swear he's like 34,
I think he's
35.
33 right now, and I think he's turning 34 in like a
I
month or
bet
two.
I bet you a loony. We'll look it up right now.
I bet you a toonie.
Oh ho ho! You don't have that kind of money. Where are you? I gotta scroll way
That's a
down the
third of a
report for
gallon of
him.
gas. No, that's actually no, that's a fourth of a gallon of gas.
Uh, End of June, he turns 34 years old.
Oh, wait. So in a month, he turns 34. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, can we rewind the tape? Is that exactly what I just said?
No, that was a corrupt file. I was thinking he's older than Ebbs, but
That's
it's the
definitely
other way
not
around.
staying in there. Damn.
Um, yeah, Stevenson, if you like look at his past seasons, he's been super consistent. Uh, he had 49 points this season, 51 points last season, 51 points the prior season. He has a minus 24 rating, so I think that's where you get a lot of people taking a dump on him because
That makes sense,
he always
actually.
seems to be out there when they're getting scored on.
Yeah.
52.2% face-off wins, so above a coin flip in a bit. But yeah, I don't think we are ever going to have a point in time when this fan base suddenly is on board with Chandler Stephenson.
No, I mean, I can already, you're setting yourself up for like comments and you're kind of clip farming because when you say he's consistent, the fan base is just going to say consistently like
Yeah.
abysmal.
Yeah. I didn't say he was
Yeah.
consistently good.
Oh,
I
okay,
just said he
okay,
was
okay.
consistent.
Well, okay, if you had to say on a scale from 0 to 10, if someone random who had no idea about the Kraken, but they were a hockey
Yeah.
fan, they're like, hey, on a scale of 0 to 10, how good is Chandler Stevenson? What would you say?
I would say good is a subjective term that
You wouldn't give a number.
no, I don't know. I'd say 6.125, like the millions that we pay him.
That's a good answer.
What would you say?
Or like a 4.
That's fair. Split the difference, call him a 5, like his face-off percentage.
Let's go.
All right, three guys to go. Next one up is one guy we might see back. We might see shipped off is Eeli Tolvanen, who is a UFA at the end of this season. He had 78 games played at the season. He was healthy scratched a couple times, 12 goals, 24 assists for 36 points. You have always been super high on Eeli Tolvanen. How did he seem to you this time around?
This year, I feel like Tolvanen, he had to. I feel like he was injured low key. Um, couple reasons. I mean, he throws a lot of hits, right? It just would not surprise me if there's some sort of like upper body problem or something. Because he just was not really ripping it like he had been in the couple years past. So I think his offense needs to take that step back up to where it was. But defensively, like he's basically a third defender out there. And I've always said he's Finnish, right?
Yeah.
He's like a Finnish army knife, and I think I've said that he's like the quintessential player that you would want like on your in your forward group because he can really do everything. He's great. High effort guy, throws the body, very sound defensively. Has an absolute cannon of a shot that always seems to go like top right, like right over the goalie's shoulder. That's the part that I think is maybe lacking and needs to come back is that shot part. Um, but also, grain of salt moment. Whole entire Kraken offense was asked this year. No goals were scored at all, so I can't really blame him. Just hope that something freaking clicks next year, bro, and we get out of these horrible waters, bro. That's what I'm gonna say.
Unless he moves on, then I hope he has equally horrendous numbers
Wow,
when
bro.
playing against us. When playing against
Okay,
us.
okay, okay. Yeah, you saved it. You saved it. I forgot he's a UFA. That actually gives me so much anxiety.
Yeah.
That sucks.
His number is basically inverted from last season. Last season he had 23 goals, 12 assists. This season he has 12 goals and 24 assists. But a difference is last season he was +3. This season he is -18. So another guy like Stevie
Oh.
who's out there a lot, and maybe that puts some of the salt in the wound that he's out there when it gets scored on. Um, I think I meant to bring this up like either last week or when the Ron Francis news came. Like because everyone dogs on Ron Francis and says that he's garbage. If I had meant to ask, what is your best move do you think Ron Francis made? And I think easily it has to be the Eeli Tolvanen scoop when he saw him on waivers and picked him up.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that season. We got Eeli Tolvanen off waivers from Nashville, and then that's also that season is also, I think, when we went to the playoffs and Ty Cartier made his debut. Because I remember tweeting out that year, like Ron Francis is an absolute genius. Because like Ty Cartier, undrafted, like Ron Francis just found this diamond in the rough who's absolutely going off in the NHL playoffs, debuting, and like Eeli Tolvanen is just awesome. Yeah, so those in conjunction, I think, were very good Ron Francis moves. Even looking back, even knowing what we know now about Cartier, I think that was still really apt, find for him. Um, but yeah, obviously the Stevenson thing is literally just like gonna haunt Ron Francis for the
Yeah,
rest of his life.
he's gonna just come give him spooky dreams in the middle of the night. Shoots up, Chandler Stephenson. All right, second last guy, a guy that we've been kind of high on in the past, uh, only kind of loosely paying attention to him in the CVE days. I know that Heather was super high on him. Ryan Winterton, 68 games played, so he got almost a full season this season. There's kind of like a rotating door on the fourth line when there was guys down there like Melanson and such. 68 games played with 4 goals and 14 assists for 18 points. I think, just as a fourth line guy down there scrapping things and trying to make his presence felt. I feel like there's lots of because we talked about this before up here in Canada, we don't always get KHN. Sometimes it's like just a coin toss of what broadcast we get to watch. And lots of the comments from other teams or other teams' broadcasters are along the lines of like the hustle out of Ryan Winterton. He's a zippy kid, he's a scrappy kid. He got his first goal this season, which was very exciting. So hopefully, we can know that first season under his belt, those bright light jitters are out of the way, and he can just get nice and loose and kind of pop off this season.
Completely agree. He seems to profile as less of a goal scorer, more like what you said, zippy, like high effort, really fast. And also just slinging those assists. Wait, what?
No, just I pulled up his page on the Kraken
Oh,
website just to look at his stats, and you need to look at the banner picture that they have for him. Not like his headshot thumbnail, but the action banner.
on the NHL.com or
Yeah, NHL.com/Kraken. And then go to Ryan Winterton.
That's funny. Yeah, zippy, fast, just like you said. Very good defensively. But definitely a setup guy. Like he's made some great passes on that fourth line to other guys who've buried it. Like I've seen some great play. Like the Buffalo Sabres game I went to as a fan. I think him and Ben Myers were like really clicking. He's a very good setup guy. I think he's very smart. And he's also, you got to remember, he's 22, okay?
hmm
And producing on a fourth line of forwards who can't produce. So like he's just down in the trenches right now, 22 years old and still finding like great plays, making great passes. So I'm very hopeful that going like he obviously played against very bad competition, but that is how you develop players. Okay. I'm gonna keep
hmm
stressing this every single BTW episode for the rest of time. You develop NHL prospects by having them play against other NHL prospects. Like imagine you're trying to get good at like chess. I've been playing a lot of chess lately. You don't just playing against like Magnus Carlsen, that doesn't help you. You have no idea what's going on. Okay. And that's the exact same thing at the NHL level. These guys are just doing like magical stuff. You're just getting dominated. That does not help your development. But anyway.
But yeah, he's definitely a guy that we want to stick down on that third, fourth line. He did play up throughout the season. I think he even had some second line time, but he's not a guy that we want to, push into the deep end against the top line of Edmonton, as an example. I think you kind of see the same thing too with Berkly Catton, that when he was playing up, he was kind of outclassed, and when he kind of settled down to that third line, that's when
Exactly.
things started to click for him. So
Exactly.
meet at
These are
meet.
like, yeah, or go ahead.
I was gonna say like just meet at your level.
Exactly. Like these are like separate ecosystem. Like lines are like their own little environment. Like your line is bad players and their line is bad player. Like it doesn't relate to like the stuff that happens on Winterton's line and the stuff that happens on like Beniers' line. They're completely independent of each other.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
never
good to
see
keep in
the
that.
pregame graphic of first line out saying that it's Ryan Winterton's line going up against Connor McDavid's line to start the game. They they're not making that call. All right, our last guy to talk about. I think another kind of along the vein of Yanni Newman that we talked about before. Shane Wright, who this season we were all hoping would have a big breakout and do amazing things. 74 games played, 12 goals, 15 assists, 27 points. Linked to lots of trade rumors towards the end of the season. And yeah, I think we're all kind of disappointed, but I don't know if that disappointment is to be placed on his shoulders or the coaching staff shoulders for his deployment, or a bit of A and B.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's disappointment with Wright himself. He's not really he's not really turning into what was supposed to happen. Yeah, I mean he was a guy that was profiled at first overall for like a really long time, exceptional status at the WHL level, and now it just kind of okay, I guess there's a reason he slid, right? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the thought that I have is like, oh, maybe there's the reason he slid. Maybe he should have slid further. I don't know. But I definitely think he's a guy that of course, he's an everyday NHL player, no question at all. Um, but it could be a situation like the Rangers had with Kaapo Kakko, the guy that we had. I think they selected him second overall, and he just wasn't really panning out for them in the way that they wanted him to. He wasn't turning into that like next level guy. I think if we also got to take a step back. Wright is 21. We just talked about Winterton being 22. We gotta chillax on on these kids, bro. Like this dude is literally just now able to drink in the United States, so we can give him some time. I'll say if he's by the time he's like 23, if he's not, if he's not posting like I don't know, 45, 50 points a year, I'd ship him off for sure. He could maybe pop off on a different team right now. I think he just needs more time. The people I'm looking right now, the competition he had this year, 20th percentile. He's playing against pretty bad people. So it's actually kind of a shame that he's not putting up more numbers. In terms of deployment, I think it matters way less about time on ice and more like into the situations. Like, are you being deployed against their good players like Stevenson and you have an excuse? Or are you being deployed against their shitters like Wright and you don't have an excuse? And I think Wright is he's playing against people protected in their own little bubbles of like pretty low caliber. So he's got to take a step up next year for sure. I think this year could be considered to be a step back.
So I pulled up, so yeah, this season he had 27 points. He had about the same amount of games, a few more games the previous season. He had 44 points.
Yeah, this is
So
definitely a step
he
back.
took, maybe this is like his sophomore slump season, like
Yeah, no, for
Matty
sure.
had. But yeah, you're talking about him sliding down the draft. I just pulled up a bunch of tabs here of the draft class that he was in. So at the top was Slavkovsky. He had 73 points this season,
Holy,
30 and 43.
are you kidding me? Bro, that's
Uh,
insane.
Nemec was number 2. He played 68 games with the Devils and had 26 points. So
All
that
right.
really hasn't panned out for them.
Yeah.
So second overall pick, and the previous seasons he was double time in between AHL and NHL. So not super great there. Number 3, we had Logan Cooley, who had 43 points this season in 54 games. So that's almost a point a game. Pretty close. And then the pick after Shane Wright was Cutter Gauthier, who had 69 points this season.
Okay. I will say
41
as a
goals, 28 assists.
okay, that's insane. I will say as a caveat to the Nemec, I don't honestly don't know how to say his last name for New Jersey. That guy is a defenseman, so
Yeah.
he's not really a production guy. So not really a guy that Wright would be like held to, like wouldn't be held to the same standard for Wright in terms of production. Is all I'm saying. But yeah,
Yeah. The only reason I picked him out was because, like I said, he was flip-flopping between New Jersey and Utica.
oh yeah,
But yeah, it's I'm really hoping that this was just a sophomore slump season for him and he pops off next season and is just unreal. Um, who knows? Maybe those trade rumors turn out to be true and we package him up for something sweet in return. But what does it say on that for his star potential? Or I guess that's only for prospects. Never
oh
mind.
yeah, but it is like it's draft year plus. So let me see. No Shane Wright, but I do have his card in front of me. Finishing 69th percentile, primary assists 71st percentile, pretty good. And this is a 3-year weighted average. Even strength offense 41st percentile, defense 32nd percentile. But like I said, 20th percentile competition. So he's basically playing against like guys that are also trying to break in, yeah, to the league. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. And another thing I'm really hoping for in this next season is that he uses it as like a prove it season to drive up some cash value for when he hits RFA in the following season.
We need pissed Shane Wright back, bro.
Yeah.
He switched to like leadership kind Shane Wright after he was in the AHL. And after that season where he was on like 7 different teams, and he might have lost some of his like he lost his swag, bro. We need piss Shane Wright back.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it. We made our way through all of the forwards on the roster. Next week, we're going to talk about the goalies and the defensemen. So look forward to that. It'll be much, much briefer next week because there's substantially less players.
Oh yeah.
But you get to buckle up for Derek's goalie stat overload. You're definitely heading up that section.
It's going to actually be a solo pod. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll just like go make a grilled cheese sandwich or something while you're yapping. But as we get out of here, is there any final like overarching thought you have on these guys to sum up the season?
Well, an overarching thought that I actually just had was I feel like I'm getting deja vu from our reviews last year where we just kept saying that we hope that the guys take a big step next year. And I just wanted to address that, like, it's clear that didn't really happen at all. So I don't know how realistic it is to expect that of anyone next year. But like, I don't know how to explain this, but I'm just like chronically optimistic. Okay. And so I don't know. I can definitely envision like certain things clicking. Maybe we go and get a guy and certain things click next year. I just want to say, have hope, bro, and remember to be a fan. Have hope. Don't listen to the fucking national media and all the national fans and all the negativity. It's bullshit, man. Be a fan. Tell the entire league that Jared McCann is a freaking all-star or a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Because he is. So F off.
Oh yeah.
That's what I have to
Maybe
say.
what I'll do is tonight I'll listen back to last year's episode and snip out some moments when we're like, this guy's gonna pop off next
Oh, we
season.
absolutely need
And
to do
I'll
that.
I'll put that after the theme song at the end for some little extra bonus nuggets. All right, Derek, we'll get out of here. We held down the fort shorthanded this week. If people wanted to check out some BTW things on the internet, where might they do that?
Hey, you can go over to btwsca.com. Simple as that. Yeah, BTWSA. Whoa, BTWSA.com.
Is it as simple as that,
Yeah,
Derek?
it's simple
Is
as
it
that.
simple?
It's simple to type, not simple to say. BTWSA.com. 6 letters. Okay. Only 6. The Jordan Eberle design is still popping off over there at btwsca.com/shop. Also go check out Heather's articles. You can go to btwsca.com and just click on the Seattle Torrent thing. It'll take you right to Heather's articles at the Hockey News. Yep. You can also follow at Heather Nicole with no E and at the Hockey News W to see more of her work. And please also drop a follow and a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choice. Really means a lot to us. Also follow us on all socials. Those are all there at btwsa.com. You can find us everywhere at that same name. I just wanted to say there won't be another forward performance review in the month of May because of how good we're doing in the postseason next year, and we won't be able to because they're still playing games. But you can find us everywhere at BTWSCA. All right,
Sure.
that's gonna do it for that rhymes.
Not
enough.
your best work. Not your best work.
I was too locked in on the advanced stats. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this week. We will see you guys next week with all of the defense, and we're also doing goalies. I missed. Okay, defense and goalie stuff next week. Bye.
We going beneath the waves. Going beneath the waves.